This is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Over the past 24 hours, many spots saw rain, and those totals tallied up to just less than half an inch. We could do with a little bit more, and Mother Nature seems to hear that because we have more on the way. Clouds are here, but rain is still to our west, so you have a couple of hours to get outside without needing an umbrella. That's going to change to winter boots once we get to tonight's forecast. We're talking about snow coming up as 6 News This Morning continues.
WLNS is here for you with 6 News This Morning.
It was just rubble. The whole place was torn down, and then all of a sudden at once it just flew up in flames.
That's reaction this morning from residents after a large explosion destroyed a condominium building in Oakland County overnight. Good morning, Mid-Michigan. It's Wednesday, November 20th. I'm Jorma Duran.
And I'm Megan Vaselli. Thank you so much for joining us.
6 News is here for you now with this morning's top stories. The blast happened on Orion Township, causing a fire to break out, sending 2 people to the hospital, both suffering from critical injuries this morning.
It's still not clear what caused the explosion, but investigators believe it could have been a potential gas leak. Multiple
crews arrived on the scene to help near Baldwin and Walden roads. The fire chief there says the explosion destroyed the entire 4-unit building, caused significant damage to another building, and did some minimal damage to a few others. A 72-year-old man and a 75-year-old woman were taken to the hospital, while several others suffered from minor injuries. The fire chief says about 20 people have been displaced, but were able to find somewhere to go.
A man who was scheduled to be sworn into the Delhi Township Board of Trustees this week police. The Ingham County Sheriff's Office says the standoff happened back in June between deputies and 71-year-old business owner Patrick DeRosa. Deputies had responded to DeRosa's home for a welfare check, and the standoff lasted for about an hour. He was later charged with attempted assaulting or obstructing a police officer, a misdemeanor, but pleaded it down to disorderly person jostling and was sentenced to a year of probation. We're told last month DeRosa failed an alcohol breath test, so a judge ordered him to serve 1 day of community service for violating probation.
Democratic lawmakers in the State House continue to introduce new legislation in the current lame duck session before Republicans take control of that chamber in January.
And we're following a set of 2 bills that aim to make it more difficult to enforce book bans here in our state.
The bills, also known as the Freedom to Read Act, would set new requirements before books could be removed from shelves at community and district libraries, but not at school libraries. Those requirements include limiting who can challenge library materials to residents of the community and requiring challengers to certify they have read or watched the material they want removed. Supporters say this legislation will help libraries connect with their patrons.
It's better to view it more as a conversation between patron and library because we want to hear their voices. And a lot of times folks are just wanting to be heard.
Right now, every community library in the state can set their own rules, and that's why supporters say this legislation could take some of the pressure off librarians when they have to decide whether to remove a book or not.
Mid-Michigan's largest school district will celebrate its ongoing solar energy projects today, which district officials say have attracted millions of dollars in clean energy incentives. The Lansing School District will hold a press conference this afternoon to go over the 11 solar projects currently underway. District officials say these projects have earned $9 million in clean energy incentives. The efforts are expected to save up to $500,000 in energy costs in just the first year and as much as $11 million over the next 30 years. The next White House administration continues to take shape, with President-elect Donald Trump selecting more of his loyal followers and a well-known TV doctor to fill key roles.
Trump has also said that he will not reconsider naming former Congressman Matt Gaetz as his Attorney General pick, despite growing controversy. Here for you now with the latest is Naomi Ruckham.
President-elect Donald Trump has revealed more picks to his incoming administration. Among them, transition advisor and billionaire businessman Howard Lutnick for Commerce Secretary. His former small business administrator, Linda McMahon, co-founder of WWE with husband Vince McMahon, to be Secretary of Education. Also TV personality Dr. Mehmet Oz as Trump's choice to lead the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Yesterday in Texas, Trump joined SpaceX CEO Elon Musk, now one of his closest advisors, at the test launch of the company's largest vessel. Musk has been tapped to co-chair Trump's newly created Department of Government Efficiency, though Musk's companies, SpaceX and Tesla, have more than $13 billion in government contracts. Trump was questioned over his controversial choice of former Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz to be the next Attorney General.
Are you reconsidering the nomination of Matt Gaetz?
No. But even some members of his own party have expressed doubts that Gaetz can be confirmed by the Senate.
I wouldn't bet my house on it one way or the other.
Today, the House Ethics Committee meets amid calls for it to release its report probing allegations against Gaetz of sexual misconduct, including claims that he had sex with a minor. Gaetz has denied all wrongdoing and says the allegations are a smear. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather on the Sixes, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
When you look out on the Capitol camera this morning, you'll see that it's dry, but that's changing in just a couple of hours. Our humidity values this morning still aren't the worst. We're mostly around 80% to 90%, a little bit juicier to the east side of the state. But these values are going up to 100% when we get the rain to start falling. The clouds ahead of the rain have already moved in. Remember, the clouds, they extend way higher up in the atmosphere than the rain itself. And the higher up you go, generally, the faster the wind is. So the clouds get here, then we get the rain. They're just hitching a ride on some slower winds. That wind is going to pick up, though, as it into the early afternoon. Tucker and Olivia have the right idea. Take a nap. If you have furry friends, take them outside this morning because the later in the day you go, the more likely it is you'll run into rain until we get past sunset. That's when we just have a few showers left, but temperatures drop off down to the 30s. That'll likely switch it over to a wintry mix and finally snow, who Tucker and Olivia might enjoy playing in, but I know there's some people at this desk who don't necessarily like the snow, so...
Yeah. But you do. That's
I really
okay.
do. And you're in the middle, so it's like a Goldilocks transition.
And I feel like I can be honest because when I worked in northern Michigan, it's a ton of ski resorts. That's
amazing.
Big business. And so I was never allowed to say, oh, snow, because it was, you know what I mean? And so now I'm going to be a little honest with our viewers here in mid-Michigan. It's not my favorite.
Not your favorite? Well.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you. You don't ski, though. You feel different when you learn to ski.
Yeah.
Have you done those? No?
Several times. Oh. I usually
I can't wait to go this year.
Works.
Because I wanted to go last year, remember, and we couldn't really go.
There was nothing. Yeah.
Bummer.
I'll get the hang of it. All right, thanks, Katie. Well, 6 News wants to recognize remarkable women here in mid-Michigan who make a difference not only for their families, but also the community as a whole. To make a submission, click on the Remarkable Women section of our website, WLNS.com, and tell us all about the remarkable woman in your life. We'll choose 4 women and profile them during Women's History Month in March. You have until December 20th to nominate someone.